What's up, guys? Welcome to AJS again. This is going to be an exciting video. In today's video, we are going to talk about the different Lagna-wise Lords retrograde. And what that means is, say if you have first house Lord retrograde, second house Lord retrograde, or 12th house Lord retrograde. So in this video, we are going to talk about these different things. The lords of different houses when they retrograde, what effects can you expect? Okay, without any delay, let's jump in further. First house. If the first house Lord is retrograde, the person's outgoing tendencies are severely curtailed. He has harder time in gaining recognition or fame. Retrograde status of either the first house or 10th house is detrimental to the progress in his employability because the person is lower in actualizing his or her abilities and worldly powers. His health is likely to be affected in the particular sub-period. So whenever you have a dasha or mahadasha of these planets, the Lagna Lord planets, chances are your health might be affected. Let's move on to the second house. Second house Lord retrograde. In this situation, the candidate receives money at a slower pace. If the person has writing skills or literary talent or teaching ability, he or she probably would not write or teach until a later age. Let's talk about third house. Third house Lord retrograde. The person would not be overtly ambitious. His desires are going to be less. There is a less chance of him having younger siblings and less chance of pursuing music, dance, or art. But those could be hobbies in his earlier phase of life. Fourth house. There is a less chance owning a land or dabbling in real estate. He has less desire to gain higher education. It does not mean that the person has problems in acquiring higher degrees. It does not mean that the planet is afflicted. It's just that it's slower to manifest. Fifth house ruler retrograde. The person will not feel compelled to have children, sports, politics, spiritual techniques, and others. Sixth house matters are dormant until the age of 30. It is considered as a weakness the Purva Punya past life credit connected to that planet. Generally speaking, if the fifth house lord is connected with the 10th house without affliction, it means there is a past life credit connected to career. But if that fifth house lord is in retrograde phase, the Purva Punya factor is thoroughly weakened or even non existent. Let's talk about sixth house. Healing or recovery from illness or operation is held back, or he may not get into his most cherished medical career or training. There is no clarity in the outcome of legal problems, especially when the sixth house lord is retrograde. Let's talk about seventh house. Seventh house ruler retrograde. It could impede becoming a merchant or business person until the late 20s or as per the opinion of James Brahma. According to others, the marriage is not based on trustworthiness or enjoyable. Let's talk about 8th house. If the lord of 8th house is retrograde, it could slow down the ability to get money from wills, legacies, and insurance payments, and money from her spouse. Before the late 20s, the person might consider astrology or psychic practices as merely a hobby. To cite an example, Braha's birth chart showed a retrograde Jupiter in his own house Pisces. As he grew in his age, his knowledge in astrology nourished because of the placement of Jupiter. Ninth house Lord retrograde. It could lessen the desire of a person to long travels. The person may consider religion or philosophy as a hobby rather than a profession. 10th house Lord retrograde. The person is slower to choose a profession and slower in actualizing his energies on his profession. This is the least favored retrograde planetary placement in any horoscope. 11th house Lord retrograde. There is every possibility in not having an older sibling. He does not involve with his friends freely and cannot indulge in making new friends. Houses 11, 5, and 7 are considered as house of desire or ambition or major goals. He may take longer time to give effort in these areas. Let's talk about the last house, friends, is the 12th house Lord retrograde. He may be having less sexual desire and less desire to visit remote areas or foreign countries. Retrograde planets do not harm and they are not afflicted unless otherwise influenced by malefic planets. So, friends, this is in general the very, very basic theory. If you have all these different house lords retrograde, there are a lot of other factors that we need to consider, especially your dasha, mahadasha, the nakshatras, the aspect. Based on that, we might be able to give a proper forecast or proper astrological guidance. But this is what, based on my readings, I have understood. If you like this video, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you do have a request to make any specific video, please let me know. I'll try my best to make a video on that. With that, thank you and see you next time.